What's going on, guys? Welcome back to 6-3 Outdoors. So, water test went good and all for the boat. We're trying to address some of the issues we found while we were out there. One of them being was trim control. So, you can hear it trimming up, but it's not trimming down. When I first took this apart a few weeks ago, it was kind of flaky. I cleaned it up, got it working, but you're trying to get out in the water and use it. I guess it went out again. So I'm gonna pull this, get it out, get the part number, try and get something ordered for it. So that's what we're gonna work on now. All right, so I got it apart. So red is your positive voltage coming in, and then blue is down and green is up. So if I measure my voltage on the red, it should have 12 volts. And so got 12 volts. So I'm getting power to my switch. Now, I don't suggest this, but if I touch the wires, so I'm getting power and everything's getting back to the motor. So let's look at the switch now. All right, so this is the switch that come out of it. Little rocker switch. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna switch it to ohms on my meter. And we're gonna check continuity on the switch. All right, so now we're gonna check the switch. So the middle prong is positive in. And what we're going to do is we're going to go between these two posts with this one on each one, checking for continuity. So going between these posts, we're not getting anything. So like I said, this switch is flaked out. I'll get a new one and we'll get it installed so we get our trim motor working. Alright guys, so after a couple of days I could not find the exact same switch that I have in here. I was able to take this one apart and clean it. So we can trim up. And we can trim down now. So I pretty much have to take this switch apart, get a better view of it, and clean the contacts on it. Wasn't that bad. It's a on-off on spring-loaded rocker switch underneath here. So we've got that straightened out. We're gonna move on to the next thing. We'll probably have to come back and revisit it later on, but for right now, it's working. All right, so my biggest issue I've got right now so far with this boat is the electrical. And I've been just trying to figure out how I want to approach it, because it's quite a bit of work, but I'm gonna fix it. I just trying to figure out how to approach it. It's just things like this. So they cut the trolling motor batteries and cables and they put the battery here. I prefer the battery to be in the back where it's supposed to be. And then use this for storage, for tackle, life jackets and safety stuff. So there are some trolling motor cables pulled through right here. So I'm probably gonna do is splice all that back together and hook my battery back up back there. And then clean all this up. Like I said, then use this compartment for storage for my tackle and stuff. So we're going to get started on that and kind of working through it. I don't know if this onboard charger works. It would be really nice if it does. It's going to put my batteries on charge instead of having to use this trickle charger. So we're going to check that while we're out here too today. So truthfully, these trolling motor wires should be routed this way. So I'm going to see if I can pull them back and pass them over and get them over here. And then I'm going to connect everything. And that'll splice all this together. And then I should be able to put my battery back there for my trolling motor. Only thing I'm probably running off that battery is my trolling motor for right now. So we're going to get that knocked out and kind of clean everything up as we go. We cleaned up this compartment. Really need to go through this compartment too and get some of this stuff out of here that we don't need. Alright, got everything pulled through there. So we're going to splice this together. First I got to figure out which one of these is the cable I'm going to use. One of these already has a terminal on the end of it, and that's the one I'm probably going to stick with. It's right here. So I'll probably use that when I'm ohm it out and figure it out. Alright, so I got everything laid out here. I'm going to splice these two together. And then I've got the end ohmed out and kind of laid out. So I'm going to get this knocked out and get back there and get that done. Then we're going to set the battery in and make sure everything works. So let's take a few minutes. And as soon as I'm done, I'll get back with y'all. Alright, I continue to work through this mess of everything. I've got trolling motor wires pulled back here and spliced together. So we're about to see if it works. But if you're curious to know, this is what I use to splice them together. These heat shrink splices. I've had good luck out of them, so that's what I used. You heat them up, it shrinks around them, and then it melts that solder in the middle of it to hold everything together. So it's kind of my go-to right now. So we're going to check to see if the trolling motor works. Alright, we got it working. Trolling motor's good again. We're going to call it a day, working on the boat, and we'll pick back up on it later. Alright guys, it's been a couple of days. So we're back out here, and we are trying to address the wiring on the right side of the boat now. So kind of trying to figure out where to start with it. So once I figure that out, I'll get with you. Alright, so I took the battery out. We'll start by separating all this from the cranking leads to the motor and trying to get that straightened out and organized. Alright, I've kind of got everything laid out, but this is what I'm installing. I got this off Amazon. It's a little fuse block. Trying to clean everything up, so I only have like 2 wires. I'm trying to eliminate all the wiring going to the battery, but just like 1 or 2. So I'm gonna get this installed, get it set up, and I'll check back on with y'all once I'm done. Alright, so this is my fuse block. So I don't have any red wire, so I kind of had to reuse some stuff. I marked it though, but I will try and correct that later on. So pretty much your positive is going to come in here, and it's going to run through these fuses out to whatever you're trying to power, and then back to here to your negative. Alright guys, as you can see, I got it installed. I'm right now testing my bilge pump. When I set everything up, I forgot to hook the ground up, so I got that back working. We're going to tidy up, and then we're going to call it a night on this, and I'll touch base with y'all then. Alright guys, I tidied up everything the best I can. I'm losing light here, and I ran out of zip ties, so I'll get some more tomorrow. Alright guys, and with that, we're going to call it a night and call it the end of this video. We got most of our electrical stuff taken care of. Pretty satisfied with it. Looks a lot better back here. Really like adding this fuse block. It's made everything look a lot cleaner, and so much less wires going to the battery. So stay tuned. We got some fishing trips coming, so we're gonna probably change gear a little bit now that the boat is feel like in pretty working condition now. Still gotta address the live well pump that's leaking back here, and then really getting some fishing. So y'all stay tuned. Thank y'all for watching.